All right, go ahead, introduce yourself, who you help, and how you help them.
Hi, Laurie. Thank you for having me. My name is Simmi. I am a results coach. I work with women who are self sabotaging themselves because they are afraid of being seen. And because of that, they have been putting their things that they know they must do off for tomorrow, for next week, for months. And it's been years, if not months, that they have been putting that dream off. And I help them do the deep identity level shifts that help them break those fear of being seen and finally get the things done with ease and flow instead of hustle and push.
Sounds like a great thing to help women with. So, how did you get into doing that?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. Thank you so much. So I it started long back when I quit my investment banking job because I thought, oh, something is not fulfilling. This is not for me. It felt like it's the time for me to say goodbye to that and take a switch. And I knew in my heart that I want to help others. And I thought because I had an experience in investment banking for 10 plus years, and I was coming from a financial background in academics, I thought it would be a great idea to help other business owners, especially small business owners, with their financials, especially setting the financial systems that can help their business become cash rich. But as I started into the online world of marketing myself and putting myself out there to find clients, I realized myself doing the exact same things that the people I serve now. I realized myself sabotaging. I realized myself keep preparing and thinking that, oh, I need to learn that next marketing tactic, or I need to learn that algorithm hack, or I need to learn how to do webinars, and I need to take that coach, or I need to hire that person before I can finally show up as a coach. And once I done all that, buying all the courses, going hiring all the coaches and reading all the books, I realized, oh, I'm still not taking action. So maybe I just need to hire that mindset coach. So I was just circling around a little preparing, but not taking action. And that created a lot of financial trouble for me because I was just investing, and not bringing any money in to the point I had to ask myself the difficult question that why am I not taking action? Even after learning so much, even after doing so much inner work, what is still holding me that's not helping me take that action? And it was that moment when things start to come to the surface and I saw the patterns and I was like, okay, we can deal with it. But if I'm just going to deal with it, doing the inner work, doing the meditation, doing the processes, but not take action, that result will never going to happen. And that's where I started pushing myself in a way so that I do not dysregulate or threaten my nervous system, but take action that feel like ease, flow, manageable, and that became my own product that I want to help other people do so.
Now, that's quite a story. I've been in that where I did too much consuming of information and investing in more than what I needed. And yes, you do need strategy, but there's a point where it's just learning and not implementing, and that's where it's definitely not helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how have you changed your networking strategy over time from when you were just starting until now?
Oh, that's a great question because my first introduction to networking was in my very first job back in, okay, let me think which year was that? 2012 or 2011. It was the time I was working for a equity research firm. And while my job was more like a desk job where I have to analyze the stocks and companies and make reports about it, one day the my reporting manager came to me and he said, "Oh, there's a conference happening where all the companies we are working on and tracking their stock, they are coming with their next quarterly results, and I want you to go there and connect with people. And at that time, I was fairly new to even the investment banking world, and I had no idea what to do there. So I went there, but there was a full room full of people, and I just noticed everyone just exchanging their cards, their business card at a full speed because it was a room full of maybe 400 people, 500 people, and everybody was just trying to get to everyone. So I thought I just need to do the same thing. Just need to get some cards collected because that's what my coworker told me, that just get collect some cards and just come home and come back to the office and give it to him. And I started that, but I felt horrible doing that because I felt like what am I doing? Why I am even collecting the cards and forgetting even the name or what they actually do about their company. The very next minute I'm switching to next person. So that was how I started into the world of networking. I was just thrown into it. And as an introvert, I had no idea how to do, what to do. And I just observed what people were doing. But over the time, it really icked me to do this kind of approach to the point that I started disliking going to these sort of events. And I felt like I don't want to attend any networking event if it just means by throwing your pitches and just exchanges contact and then not knowing what to do. And it was out of that necessity and pain while I knew that, okay, while I'm out of job and it has come happen very later when I stepped into my entrepreneurial journey, I realized that, okay, now I need to network, but we cannot network that way. That's not resonate me. I cannot do that. So I had to find a different way where I can deeply connect with people, deeply get to know them, deeply get to take time to understand them before I even decide to even ask or even help them out. So my approach started with that fast transactional contact exchange approach in the corporate world, but it I learned and I grew into more intuitive, connection based and knowing based that, oh, is this the person I want to connect to and how can I serve them into that kind of approach over the years?
Now, that's quite a story about how the way you connect with people has changed. What would you say are the best ways to get the most out of networking events?
Oh, this is so nice question, and I feel like follow up to the what I already said. I think the best way to get the most out of a networking event personally is to take an approach of gardening. Now, this comes to me because gardening is very close to my heart. Growing up, my grandmother, I was growing up around my grandmother, and she used to always help me teach about the gardenings. And I noticed the process of gardening involves a lot of passion, a lot of care, a lot of compassion, but at the same time, a lot of patience for let the seeds to grow. And when I came into the world of networking and when I got icked by the old approach or the corporate approach of just hardcore contracts, contact exchanges and hardcore pitches, I felt like that hunt kind of approach is not for me. Networking is if I want to get most out of the networking, I have to treat it like gardening. I have to sow my seeds of presence that I can give to people, my all undivided attention, and then get to know them before even I can decide what I can offer to them and how can I serve them, even if it is as simple as introducing them to some connection. I feel like sometimes people do very quick and oh let me help you connecting. But to be honest, until and unless I don't know you, your values, what is your passion project, what lights you up, what kind of people you like to work with, me trying to even give you introductions or ask you is still transactional. So I feel like the best way is to see networking as a gardening. You sow the seeds of presence and then you water those seeds by knowing that connection, deepening that connection, knowing about that person beyond work, like what lights them up, what are their value, why they do what they do, what gets them excited, what challenges they are struggling with. And once you feel like you are getting some rapport and there are genuine contributions that you can make, that's the point. It's you start giving or asking or contributing. At that point, that doesn't feel like or become transaction. I feel like that becomes a genuine contribution.
Yeah, because you're getting to know them. It's not just about make a sale right away or here's a connection right away. It's knowing, okay,
Yeah.
what are they looking for?
Yes.
So I know you mentioned you're more introverted. How does that affect the choices you make about networking?
Oh, absolutely. So, as I'm told that I'm an introvert and experiencing the extroverted way of networking really put me into like, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot talk to 400 people one time. I cannot just be transactional because as an introvert, I feel like we are more intuitive and we have this more kind of need to get to know the person and get to develop a connection, a common thread. And for me, connections happen over something that overlaps between me and the other person. It could be a personal interest. Maybe our works are totally different, but maybe we both are into artworks. And that could be a common thread for me to get to know them as an introvert that by focusing my attention on, oh, how did you get into art? And what is your perspective? And that deepening of conversations from art to the perspective of view, worldview, and how it's goes, the connections and the conversations go deepen and deepen. And I feel that's where we feel like, oh my God, I feel like we totally know you. And I would like to share an example. When I first met Lori, it was through a networking connection, but instantly when we got on a call, even if our work is different, I felt like we both connected over the fact that it's the intuitive nudge to check that who to connect to and relying on your intuition more than head or anything else. I think that common agreement or common reliance on intuitiveness helped us connect better for us to even be on this show right now. So I feel like as an introvert, my approach is more intuitive and I rely on, okay, who is aligning with my values, who feels like inspiring to me, who feels like they can spending time with them would leave me more energized or inspired, or who is the person I really, really love to be a part of their journey, the change they are trying to create in whatever way it takes. That's the way I, as an introvert, love to approach.
Getting comfortable being uncomfortable is part of the entrepreneur's skill set. What helped you get past that when things felt uncomfortable?
I would be lying if I'm saying that, oh, I am totally comfortable now because there's always time when we feel like, oh, these conversations feel like a bit uncomfortable. It's like me stepping a little bit out of my comfort zone. But what really helped me is knowing that, and I think it came after a lot of work because I had to do a lot of work because I used to had so much belief on that, oh, maybe I'm not good enough or I do not have enough value to offer. And that impacted significantly how I used to network because I used to see the other person on pedestal. So it took me a lot of time and work to anchor the value I have within me and not let it fluctuate irrespective of who I am talking to because I feel like we all are spiritually equal in value. Externally in the marketplace, maybe we have different value, but the inner value is always same. Nobody is superior or inferior than anyone. So once I labeled and anchored my self belief and my own self worth to the point I felt confident or comfortable in my own skin, I still do some uh, exercises before any time I take to connect with any people, which is really grounding myself so that I'm not in my head. I'm really landing in my body so that I am there to listen to them. Because I feel like as an introvert, the best gift I can give them is my listening and the space holding for them and let them talk and share their values, their story, and then we can weave it further and deepen it. So grounding is the thing I still go back to.
Yeah, that's really good because sometimes even when you feel uncomfortable, it's still important to get out there. And I love the ways you talk about how we're all equal and you don't need to put somebody on a pedestal because I've struggled with imposter syndrome and putting people on a pedestal. So I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Yeah, I've been to the same feeling for more than I don't know in so many years, and that's why I said it took me a lot of work. But realizing this and operating from this knowing had been really, really helpful in allowing myself to be out there and form more connection. And grounding, I feel like always help. It always helps to just get out of the head and land back in the body and let the present moment lead the conversation.
What have you found is the best way to balance networking with the other things you do in business and in life so that you set aside the right amount of time for it?
Oh, that is so interesting. And I feel like when I was starting, I think it's some of the mistakes I made and I learned from it. When I take the example of gardening and seeing networking as gardening, we do not sow the seeds when we need the food. We sow it in advance so that over time it grows and we have the fruits or vegetables or the food we need to eat. I feel like in the beginning, when I was very new to the world of networking and marketing, and I, as an introvert, has not done enough inner work as well. I used to approach it as a hunt that I need something today, so I'm going to look for who can help me. But I felt like that wasn't the right approach. So it was more of taking time so that I can build the connections, sow the seeds today and let them grow over the time. And because this is the intention and this is the clarity I have that, okay, whatever the reach outs I'm doing, it's not from the place of, oh, what can I get out of you today, right now? What can you give me today? Or how can I serve you today? You have to buy my thing. That's not the thing. So it allows me the time to decide how much do I want to. Sometimes, and I also play around my cycle as well. So sometimes I will go out and book my entire week with conversations, but then other week I will be like, now my plate is full and my body is already taking me to slow down the things, and I will skip not having any additional conversation because I feel like it's not really about the numbers. I will be very happy to have a community of 10 people with whom I have this deeper sense of knowing and we are bonded over some single purpose, single goal, single shared common familiar, something that we all are bonded around instead of 10,000 people who don't even know me, who I don't even know, and I don't know what we are doing there instead of just managing them. So for me, it's more on quality and how much I can add. Also checking with my body that how much energy I have over quantity. So I just ask my body that, hey, how are we feeling this week? Are we more open to connecting with one person today? And at the end of the day, it's never about, for me, And a lot of people check that, okay, out of my networking, how many contacts I got today or how many leads I got today. For me, it's like how many deeper conversation I had today and what it made me inspire. And we should not forget that it's not always about new conversations, it's also about following up with the ones we already built some connections. So sometimes it's enough to just send a message or send some thoughtful contribution to the person you spoke last week or maybe last month, and that also counts.
I like that. What are some of the benefits you've gotten out of networking and how has it helped your business?
I've got so much benefits out of networking. I think I got my first client out of a networking event. So I think I shared this story with you offline, and I'll share with the people out there so they feel encouraged to do it more. I created this program this year at the beginning of this year in January. And most of the January, I just took it into finalizing networking. What is my offer going to be? Who is the person? So I was doing some deeper clarity work. Well, February was a time I wanted to start out, and my social medias are still fairly new, and there weren't much following, and I wasn't posting much content in February. So I saw this notification from my local area that they were doing some women entrepreneurship networking in person at a cafe, and it just happened like it came to me. I noticed that email, and I was like, oh, that's a good get that seemed like a good space for me to go there. And I signed up for that. I went there and there were almost 18 women business owners who were speaking and sharing their products, their services, the people who were the business owners who had the product business, they were demonstrating their products. The people who had service businesses, they were sharing about their services. And in the end, we had this open playground to actually go and reach out over a cup of coffee and connect with the person. And I feel like over there, I just shared my story of what led me into this work and what made me create what I'm doing right now. And one of the women who has a her she has her own law practice and she's building and growing that. She reached out to me and she's like, "Can I have a session with you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And we connected. We connected on a follow-up meeting one on one, and she immediately wanted to sign up for my program, and that's how I got my very first client with no social media, no ads, no nothing. It's just because I showed up at a networking event, I shared my story, and I let people take whatever they wanted to take out of it. So, other than that, this was a very recent example of how it impacted my business because it gave me an immediate proof that I needed my very first client for this offer. Other than that, I have been networking very actively, especially the last month, April, and I got to know so many wonderful women, so many wonderful ideas, and it's the kind of work they do that was so, so inspiring and also humbling. And at the same level, it put me into this space of that, oh, I'm not alone. I have these women who are building something similar and I can always reach out to them because every person I connected was very kind and very loving and giving enough to have a conversation. And they always said that, oh, if you need some help, please feel free to reach out. So I think networking has not only given me clients, the very first client, and so quickly, but also it has given me immense, immense, beautiful people and such beautiful friendships, such beautiful bonds that I share. Because let's be honest, sometimes this entrepreneur journey can go very lonely, where you feel like none of your own friends or friends from the corporate don't understand you, or your family not getting exactly where you are. But these connection of the people who are doing this very similar stuff with you, going through the very similar journey like you, they get you, they understand you, and having them around is just lifts you up, it inspires you, and it kind of give you this nudge to just keep going.
I love that. What are your thoughts on tapping into your intuition and how do you use it when networking?
Oh my God, that's such a good, great question because um, I was thinking about this idea of when April this year, where I was setting this intention, this conscious intention that, okay, this month I want to do as much networking I can do one on one, whether it's digital or in person. And I want to connect to as many people I can. And there have been ideas like there was the first thought in my mind, but who do I connect to? Who do I reach out to? I don't want to be a bother to people. And while my mind was overthinking and racing that, oh, we cannot just talk to anybody, I trusted my gut that my gut will lead me where I really want to go. And I just set that intention. And the very next day, I saw in a Facebook group that there was a speed networking event. And I was like, I asked for it. I set this intention and universe is responding to me. I showed up there and oh my God, the energy of that group was so amazing. And the people, the kind of people, again, from various different works with so much knowledge and so much inspiration that it felt like it was the best decision to listen to my intuition and go there and not worrying about what my head was saying, which was like, who we gonna talk to, how we gonna read them out, what we gonna say, blah 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 blah. And I just like, okay, we are not going to worry about it. I set the intention, something will happen. I will find something. My body will lead me somewhere. And that's where this opportunity showed up to for me to join in that speed networking event. Excuse me. And my body said, yes, we are going for it. It was a very subtle yes. It was not a very loud, exciting yes. It was just a very calm, quite subtle yes. But there was in a knowing that, yes, we should go there. So the feeling I used to get from the initial days of my working, the full room of people where they were exchanging, that feeling was not present. It was very calm, very subtle feeling, kind of my body saying a subtle yes that we should go there. So I love to check with my gut because I feel like the gut is never wrong. My head has made me into so many wrong decisions, but my gut has always, always told me what is the right thing or what is not. Even if I listen to it or not, that's a different thing. But I feel like every time I have listened to my gut, I have never regretted. And every time I have not listened to it later on, I feel like I knew it. I shouldn't haven't done it right. Why did I did it? So I feel like intuition. I, as an introvert, do like to operate from my body. I feel like my body is more wiser than my head, and my body can guide me better than my head. So even if it's the simple decision like, who would I like to connect today? I like to trust and land into my body and ask my body, okay, well, which person should we lean forward to instead of thinking here?
That's good. Listening to your intuition is so important. Any closing remarks or things that you wanted to add?
I would like to say that please, if you haven't tried networking or if just because you are introvert, you feel like, oh, I get I get scared, I don't know what to say. Just trust your body, trust your intuition, and give it a try. You will have a amazing time of your lifetime. You'll find such valuable connections, such deeper friendships, such deeper ideas that will inspire you, that will help you in your own journey. And if you need help, because sometimes we struggle that, okay, which is the right way for us to move? And if you feel like you don't know really how to trust your intuition, I feel like you should connect to Lori for that. She is amazing. She is very highly attuned to her own intuitions, and I know she will offer other people guidance through her cards. So please, please, please connect with her. She's amazing, and seek all the help and jump into this networking vibe and see if the gardening metaphor resonates with you, or you find your own methodology or way of networking.
Thank you so much.